Hi there, my name is Paul Zajac.
I'm Charlie Stoeckle.
Welcome to DnDSPN. This is a channel where we smash together Dungeons and Dragons and sports commentary.
Kind of.
Tonight's episode is a consideration of a theater of the mind portion to an otherwise mapped out adventure. I wanted to introduce that just so there was some variety and have some other thoughts about theater of the mind. Let's watch the clip and then we'll talk.
Manzur, you see a large human kind of walking, staring at you. He's probably about 50 or 60 feet away. There's, the streets are still fairly populated, and he's giving you the stink eye and coming up on you. Looks like he's walking towards you.
Toward me specifically? Yeah.
You get the feeling that he's making eye contact with you.
All right. Yeah, I'm making eye contact right back. I'm going to give Nora like a elbow and be like, get a load of this guy.
So,
Wait, do you know him?
No idea.
As he walks towards you, you kind of like miss that somebody else in front of you, bump into them. And it's a small person says, excuse me, and he runs away. And then the guy who's made eye contact with you, he waves, and he's waving to somebody behind you.
I'm going to awkwardly wave at him.
It's like one of those awkward moments where he wasn't actually.
I love how Manzur brought Norlung into the roleplay. It was
my inability to feel shame is really helpful right now. So that's.
I'm going to take a look very quickly as this happens.
Yeah.
Whoever Manzur, kind of got in contact with, did anything happen to Manzur's belongings in the process? Like, I
was probably hella robbed.
Make an investigation check.
Okay.
Not at all paranoid. I love
it. Not my first ride. 15.
Yeah. So you noticed that as the small person bumped into Manzur, you were watching closely, and they lifted something from his belt.
I'm going to turn around, and that person that just did this, I'm going to call on to them and say, "Do not move."
Let me just go ahead and make a roll here. Ooh, he got an 18 plus 3, so he drops the scimitar and runs into the crowd.
So just one thing I want to interject before letting you take it over, Charlie, is that I had anticipated this, eventuality, and it asked players to pre-roll some D20s. So I wasn't make a perception check to try and kind of disguise what was going on. Okay, so you were in the game. What's your impression of theater of the mind, of this theater of the mind?
I love theater of the mind. We think before we had VTT, there was, you had hex paper on the table, and that's as close to excitement as you got. And people would make their own terrain, but if you didn't have the budget for that, it all had to be up here. So you're putting that into the game is wonderful because one, you don't have to mess around with the transitions on maps. You don't have to worry if the lighting's all done, and it gets the creative juices flowing for the player. So when Manzur had that look of panic on the face where it was like, oh, he drops your scimitar, the moment where, one of your party tanks no longer has their weapon kind of gets like a scary moment when you're walking like in that situation. Like I almost lost something I was going to need later. And I really like that. I think it was a great placement for it. And Manzur held it really good and drew somebody else into that role play. It's great when you do that. It builds party symmetry.
Yeah, I agree with that. It opens up the imagination. When my first campaign back playing D&D, it was all theater of the mind, and when I switched over to a VTT, one of the things that I felt was lost was some of the imagination. People weren't asking about the room; they were going, "Hey, what's that thing on the map?" The other thing I kind of like about theater of the mind is that. It is the thing that allows you to be extremely spontaneous, right? If your character zig the other way and you don't have the map, you can just go, we're going theater of the mind. And if the people are used to that, if the people you're playing with are used to that, it doesn't strike them, I think, as much as like, oh, he didn't prepare this. It's just like, oh, this is another part of the adventure, and everybody can take it on as like, oh, we're creating the adventure together. And it's not so easy to be spontaneous as it is, say, if you're playing in person when you've got a gridded map in front of you, you can just draw it out. It's much harder to do that on VTTs. And you and I both play on VTTs a lot.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I liked about this. I wasn't sure about this particular one, if that, crowded pickpocket scene had been overdone. Did everybody know it was coming? I don't know. Anyway,
I had no clue. I mean,
Okay.
it was it part of the adventure? Was it not part of the adventure? The answer to that is always it's part of the adventure. Imagination, making things up, improv, and theater of the mind are always supposed to be part of the adventure. So, is it part of something that's main to the story? Probably not, but it becomes dangerous when the MacGuffin gets nabbed.
Yeah.
If that's what's happening, or you lose your sword. That's a big deal. Now you got to find another one.
Okay, so theater of the mind. Tell us what you do in your games and how you keep things spontaneous if you're not doing this. If you want to see the full adventure from what this clip was sourced from, you can check it out on our second channel, DnDSPN 2, The Deuce. And if you like what we're doing, give us a like and subscribe. If you don't like what we're doing, unlike us, and you got to find somebody else to unsubscribe. But good luck.
Or
with that.
provide feedback.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, that's true. Okay, bye everyone.
Thanks.